And there's me doing exactly what I wasn't supposed to do. Again. Well, my name is Sheyna Gifford. I am one of 6 people who spent 366 days on simulated Mars. We walk among you now. Why do we do this? Why does any sane, highly educated, highly intelligent person do something like this? To get ready for the real thing, of course, is the answer. We went and lived in that dome. It's about 1,200 square feet. So in LA, maybe a 2-3 bedroom apartment. In New York, a palace. These were my 5 crewmates. From the left, Cyprien Berceau, a Frenchman, our astrobiologist, Christiana Heinecke, our chief scientific officer, Carmel Johnston, the commander and a soil scientist, Tristan Bassingthwaite, a space architect. Yes, there is such a thing. And the man right behind me was our chief engineer. He used to fly the satellites around Mars before coming to be the chief engineer on simulated Mars. That's what we called where we were. Now, I'd like everyone to notice the mix there. It's 50-50. That's how it should be. Yeah. At a minimum, I'm gonna eat less food, breathe less oxygen. Just saying. And what I'm also saying is space needs you. Space needed the 6 of us. And not just our expertise, not just the soil scientists so we could grow food, which we did, not just Cyprien to help us look for life, not Christiana just to help us find water, which she did beautifully. We distilled it out of the air using tents on the volcano. We may do that for real someday on Mars, not just me to keep people healthy and make the cheese, not just the chief engineer to keep the HAB running and fly the drone. It needed our patience. It needed our compassion. It needed our communication skills. We were talking about communication before. All of us blogged. We shot video, hundreds of hours of video that's becoming a documentary right now called Red Heaven. We shot for Nat Geo. We shot for History Channel. We shot for you. We shot because you guys couldn't come with us. And Lord knows we did not want to go alone. Right? So space needs you, but not only if you're a scientist. That's the important point. Quick survey. Who here would like to go to space? Show of hands. Yeah, all right. And that wasn't, hey, who's good at math? Okay, much smaller number, right? Yes, okay. And that depends on what you consider good at math. That's a very complicated question. But just because you didn't raise your hand at good at math doesn't mean you can't go to space. Oh, no. Space needs math. Space needs medicine. Space needs art. Woo! Who's seen the travel posters JPL puts out all the time now? The beautiful travel posters, yeah. That's right, that make people want to go to space, that keep us involved and engaged. Who here has a skill that they consider to be non-science? Back there in the blue, what skill is it, miss?
Massage therapy.
Oh, space needs you. Who else? Someone in high school student, raise your hand. Tell me what special skill you have that's non-science, miss. Oh, space totally needs you. It's a beautiful thing, to go back, it's a beautiful thing to be in that dome, and it's dark. All of Mars is dark and very quiet. And suddenly you hear, out of nowhere, someone playing House of the Rising Sun on Mars, on their guitar. It's a beautiful thing. We brought our music to space. That gentleman learned to play the ukulele on Mars so well that he now goes to ukulele conventions. That lady there played the harmonica, and they did an amazing duet of House of the Rising Sun ukulele harmonica. That guy used to be in a rock band, and he would definitely rock out. It was pretty good. I brought a didgeridoo that everyone made fun of when I played. But comic relief is also important. Okay, the young lady down here, you're raising your hand. What non-science skill do you have? You play violin, that's beautiful. A violin would sound gorgeous in the dome, bouncing off all the nice high areas in the dome. Good, so space needs you. But not necessarily just to go there. If you're the kind of person who likes to go really far away and not be able to call home for a year or 3, cool. Yeah, space definitely needs you. But it needs all of you to be here on Earth, to be be developing the things that we need to make space possible. So here are some pictures from space, and I want you guys to think about weather. Who predicts the space weather? Not the Martians. People on Earth using satellites, looking at data. Who builds the domes? Robots, I hope, because when I roll into Mars, there better be a dome there. How did the dome get there? We designed robots that we sent in advance. They built the dome for us. That's a good thing, because we can only aim stuff at Mars within like a 5-kilometer radius, and you can only send like 2 tons at a time. So imagine sending a whole Mars mission in 2-ton packets. And then getting there and spending the first month finding your stuff. That's a no bueno. What else do you see? Spacesuits. What's inside the pack? It's a spaceship you're wearing. You are wearing a spaceship. So there's filters. There's oxygen and CO2 exchangers, there's water, there's food, there's nutrition, there's everything you need to survive, all on your own in that packet. That comes from Earth. What's she wearing? A microphone, radio, communications equipment. Communications equipment. Yes, it takes between 4 minutes at best and 20 minutes at worst to call back to Houston. If something breaks, you're like, yeah, Houston, we have a problem, we'll hear back from you in 40 minutes about that one. But with talking to each other, all that communication stuff comes from Earth. Sporting equipment. It seems funny, but it's incredibly critical. Our shoes were thrashed. We're gonna have to invent a whole new kind of footwear to go to Mars, because the lava ate our shoes the way you eat breakfast cereal. Delicious. Can I have some more? You never find this stuff out till you get there and you realize, I need a lot of shoes on Mars. And a lot of trekking poles. They bent like twigs. Sometimes even the ones made of carbon fiber, they just snapped. It was the temperature. So we need that, and we need people with all kinds of skills. Science, non-science, communication, cooking. Who here can cook really well? Yeah, we need you on Mars, miss. Half the crew couldn't really cook, but they tried. I mean, they tried their best. You know, you can't do everything well. Space needs everyone. That's the only point I have to make. The people in this group, only 6 of us went. The rest of them were support, but the people you don't see in this picture were legion. Hundreds of thousands, backing us up from different points on the Earth. Space needs you. Doctors, engineers, scientists, communication specialists, cooks, massage therapists. Woo! Geologists, programmers, architects. We need you. The only question really is, do you need space? Do you need space? Because if you need it, find your way there. I'll admit, it's a little bit of heresy, I tried to not need space. I'd always loved space as a kid. I was studying astrophysics at Berkeley. I worked on the satellite, had a bright future, when my father had a stroke. And then my astrophysics advisor had a stroke. He was paralyzed. And I thought, okay, this is a sign. I went to medical school. I worked hard. I was helping people. But I still needed space. I needed space. So I picked it up, I turned it around, I became a space doctor. There's such a thing as a space doctor! Yeah, who knew? If you need space, make your way there. Find us in this room, we will help you. Make a plan. Get a mentor. Get an internship. Blog, get on. Who here knows Girls Who Code? Girls Who Code? Yeah! Get with Girls Who Code. Engineer girls. They will help you. We will help you. If you need space, we need you. Because we need to get from this $330 billion a year thing, where only a few people living in space at a time, all the way up to a beautiful future where thousands of people live in space. And it's a $2.7 trillion industry. We need space because we're running out of space on Earth for communications. We're gonna tap it out. We need to take the internet to space. That's the only place we can go. We need to solve the problems of energy. And space has infinite. We can go clean if we go to space. We can go to space. We need to go to space, so we need you. Everyone in this room. When I ask kids, who wants to go to space? I get that. Yeah. They all raise their hand. Except for that one kid in front. Who's always like, no. I'm like, yeah, that's cool. Mission control, right? He's like, yes. Mission told me why they wanted to go to space. Because you love science, because you want to be cool. Whatever your motivation, we need you, and space makes us better. Not just technologically, personally, space makes us better. Your entire worldview changes when your world changes, and Earth can learn a lot from our year on Mars. I kind of lied about the Pringles, though they did sneak some into our resupply. So there it is. There's our future, and here's our future. Here is how we get there. Make your way if you need space, because space most definitely needs you. Thank you very much.
Oh yeah. Show all of Sheyna's private slides. So hello, my name is Loretta Hidalgo Whitesides. I'm super excited about the topic of humans in space, and so I wanted to use part of my time just to like celebrate women who've been to space and sort of make sure that we're educating each other in like our own history and where we came on, because we stand on the shoulders of giants. So I wanted to start off with the first woman in space, Valentina Tereshkova, and she flew in 1963. And she's one of we're going back up. We're going back up. Okay, this makes me feel like a stand-up comedian. This is much better. And you know, it was a great accomplishment, and well, I don't want to go too much into politics, but the Russians have flown about 4 women into space in the 50 years, but they got the first, so that was really awesome. In 1978, NASA admitted its first woman into the astronaut corps. Ray, Kathy, Judy, Sally, Anna, and Shannon, and that was an extraordinary turning point for our program. In 1983 was when Sally Ride did her first flight. I'll also point out that it was 20 years and 2 days to the day from when Tereshkova flew for the first time, which is an extraordinary coincidence. So it's June 16, 63 and June 18, 83. So that was also pretty cool. And of course, we lost Sally Ride a few years ago, tragically. So that's also important to just learn our roots. Mae Jemison is the first woman of color in space. And she's an extraordinary hero of mine, so I want to include her because I love their tagline for 100-Year Starship, which is an inclusive, audacious journey that transforms life here on Earth and beyond. And I also wanted to share an insight. When I was my first job out of college was at Johnson Space Center, working as an intern in the astronaut office, which was just really cool in its own right. But one of the thrills of that time was 1996, and it was after Shannon Lucid had just finished 6 months on Space Station Mir, and I got to go to her debrief in astronaut office. It was just extraordinary because she's just so bubbly and vivacious, and it was really a testament to how your attitude really shapes your experience. It's really tough conditions in those days on the Mir. It was, you know, they couldn't just pick up a phone and call Earth like they can now. They couldn't live tweet like they can now, and it was a Russian space station, so they're speaking in Russian all day. They're eating Russian food like pickled herring and things that aren't normal to our diet. So it's really challenging, but she kept this incredibly powerfully positive attitude, and it really taught me a lot about what it takes to make the best of whatever you have. And she did a great job of that. This is a little out of date, but just to give you a sense of order of magnitude, there's been about 550 people who've been to space in the last 50 years. And those are the little male and female signs, and I think the color is Russia and US, and then there's like China and other countries. But of that 550 people who've been in space, oops, I went too far, I guess. 60 have been women. So about 10% of the people who've been in space today have been women. And this is the first Chinese woman in space back in 2013, so that was also a big step for womankind. The fourth Russian woman to go into space, launched in 2014, and the first Italian woman. They're the 58th and 59th, and then the 60th was Kate Rubins from the US. And then I worked a lot with Virgin Galactic, which is a lot of fun. I have a ticket to fly on a suborbital flight with Virgin Galactic, and we have about 650 or so customers who bought tickets to fly with us, and about 10% of our customers are women. So I'm also really excited about the idea of, doubling the number of people who've gotten to experience space, and also doubling the number of women who've gotten to experience space. So one of our 600th customer, Marsha Bars, is from the UK, and so it was sort of fun to invite her into the family. I've been a ticket holder for 10 years with Virgin Galactic, and so it's like a family, and we have parties and get to see each other. I see some of them more than I see my family in Florida. It's a cool group of people to be with. Ninja. Cool. So why does women in space matter? Why is it important? Why should we care? Why don't we just be, gender blind when we're doing things like crew selection or board selection or, project manager selection? And my personal take, at least for this moment in time, obviously, things are different 50 years ago and they'll be different 50 years from now. But from my experience, mixed gender teams behave better. You put one woman on a space shuttle crew in the 90s, and those guys straightened right up, and there weren't nearly as many fart jokes. But I think it's speaks to our culture. Like, there's a lot of pressure put on men that they have to behave a certain way, and so I think they don't have to, prove as much. Or when there's a woman around, they can be more respectful or gracious, and it takes the load off of them that they have to bear. So I think there's a value to that, and also in our culture, women are allowed to be more expressive and be more communicative and be more affectionate or whatever it is. And so it gives license to the whole group to sort of let their hair down a little bit and be more human. And I think being more human is a really important part of where we're heading in our space programs. I call it the new right stuff. In the 60s, the right stuff was like being tough, being able to endure anything. And that's powerful and important, and it got us a lot of things. And I think there's a new dimension that we're going to add in this next step with adding sort of the softer and the communication and the empathy and the vulnerability and the connection. And I think that's one of the things that women, we have a privilege of getting able to add to the conversation. I'm really excited for us to bring that. And then we also are able to connect with whole new audiences on Earth and share the story of space with a whole new half of the world. Like when Anusha Ansari was on the International Space Station, she was blogging, and girls in Iran were reading her blogs and just like, I could be a part of this too. And it's like giving girls that vision of like, yeah, this is for you. We'll have to find another way to give them their inspiring moment to pick their career. Besides discouraging them. So and this is before I tell my stories, so my homework assignments for you guys are things you can do if you want to create this future for our civilization. You can read Sheryl Sandberg's Lean In about how you can step up and take your seat at the table and provide leadership in your environment. You can weaken your imposter syndrome. I had this awesome imposter syndrome, like, oh my God, they're going to find out that I'm a fraud and I'm a fake. And I think like the way you take away the boogeyman is just by shining light on it, right? So you're like, yeah, I've got an imposter syndrome. Big deal. Let's get over it. Everyone has it. I mean, when I got into Caltech for graduate school, there were 26 of us in the biology department. And one night we were sitting around and we realized that every single one of us thought that we were the admissions department mistake. Mathematically, that can't be true. So we realized that everybody's got that self-doubt. And so if you're just open honest with it, it starts to like lose its hold on you. Be the woman sitting at the table. I mean that literally. At the meeting, go sit at the table. You don't have to sit on the edge of the room. And figuratively, like take up your, you guys are already doing a lot of it, going speaking and being on committees and taking leadership roles, and then hiring and mentoring women. And it's, again, that's that bias that, you tend to hire people that are like you, and gets, so you have to really be conscious about, what you're doing, what you're creating. One of our engineers at Virgin Galactic has an incredible number of young women engineers on this team, and somebody's like, women in space. For myself, I'm an astrobiologist by training, and when I left my PhD, let's not mince words. When I quit my PhD program, I had an extraordinary opportunity to work with James Cameron and dive to the bottom of the ocean. He was looking for people who could take a month off on a month's notice, and I'm like, totally got that. I'm your girl. So I got to do this 3D IMAX movie, and we got to go dive to hydrothermal vents along the Mid-Atlantic Ridge in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean, and go on the Russian Mir submersibles, see some really cool sea creatures and some underwater volcanoes. Oops. Oh, the next one's cool too. And then my work at Zero Gravity Corporation, I got to fly on their 727. It slides upside down, but it hardly matters because it's weightless. Your hair goes everywhere. It's awesome. And of course, our flight of Stephen Hawking was the most attention that we got. It's a really powerful experience to float weightless, and I highly recommend it to anyone. It's a great, otherworldly experience, a very sublime thing to get to float free. So I'm excited that we have that available now. Again, it took 10 years to even get the FAA approvals, but now it's here. Anyone can do it. So this is Virgin Galactic. We have our system with, again, it's an airplane that's dropping a spaceship. The spaceship is the middle fuselage. My husband George and I bought our tickets to fly back in 2005. That's Sir Richard Branson. My husband and I all looking about 12 years younger. And he's a great visionary, so I'm really proud to be part of his team and what he's doing. It's nice to have a boss you believe in. So just some glamour shots. This is our spaceport in southern New Mexico. It's an extraordinarily beautiful building. It looks like it should be on Tatooine. And I'm definitely committed to making sure we are launching humans to space from this facility. And that's a picture of one of our powered test flights. And we're based up in Mojave, and we're built our second space vehicle, Spaceship Unity. Stephen Hawking named it Spaceship Unity, and just did our third glide flight a while back, and we're just getting ready to do our fourth. We'll get back into power test flights again this year, and hopefully get our test pilots to space by the end of the year as well. So it's a really exciting time for our company, and we're looking forward to opening space to everyone, including women. Maybe you guys can help me get that number from 10% to 50%. I think, I have one more glamour shot. Oh, my slide that's white, so you can't read it. Perfect. The white text just didn't come through at all. It's terrible. It says, follow your dreams, for if you do, you'll give others permission to follow theirs too. So, I am passionate about what I do. I'm thankful every day that I live a created life. I live the life that I said I wanted to have. I made it up. When I left school, there were majors and career paths, and I was like, well, I don't know. When I dropped out of the PhD program, it's like you leave the known and you step out into the unknown. And it's been an extraordinary wild ride. The path less traveled to go where there is no trail and leave one. So my commitment, my intention is to help create opportunities for other people to go and find their passion, find what they came to Earth to do, and help you fulfill it. Because all this is only going to work if each of us are, we have the people working on the GPS, and we have the people working on the Pegasus, and we have the people working on the medical. And like you said, space needs everyone. And if we're all following your passion, fulfilling what you came to do, there's no limit to what we can achieve. Thank you so much.
researching you guys before we started this event, just to kind of get a sense of where, we know sort of now where you all came from, but I'm very curious from each of you if there was one event or one person in history that continues to inspire you, that even when things get rough at work or at home, that you can look back at that and just say, this reminds me why I love what I do. Do you guys have that moment, and what are they, if they're not too personal to share? We can start wherever.
That's a great question. What I was thinking of is Carl Sagan, actually, is somebody I go to a lot to be inspired or re-inspired when I'm having a bad day. I actually have a ritual. Like, if I'm having a really bad day, I will go to YouTube and I will pull up Reed Gower's The Frontiers Everywhere, which is a video clip he created of Carl Sagan's voice set to music and imagery. And it's incredibly beautiful. And it just reminds me why I'm here and why I do this. And that it's not supposed to be easy. If everybody understood what you were trying to do, then they wouldn't need you to do it. Like, of course they don't know what you're talking about, because no, you need to be there to explain to them. That's why you're here. So I highly recommend checking that out. It's my touchdown.
For me, yes, it's not a person, but the thing that I go to are my front steps. I go and sit on the front steps and look at the neighborhood and the trees and reground myself, get away from the news, get away from all of the noise that's out there, and just reflect.
So, for me, it's not a person either, it's a lander. As nerdy as that is, one of my first memories is my dad showing me pictures from Viking. And I said, well, Dad, what's Viking? And he goes, well, it's a thing about this big that we threw at Mars. And I said, so we built it and we threw it and it landed and sent us back pictures? It's like, yeah. Like, don't we still have like TVs with vacuum tubes? It's like, yeah. Like, but we did that. We built the thing and threw it at Mars and now it sends us pictures. He's like, yeah, I'm like, oh, that's so cool. So I think it's the things that we build that endure, that inspire us, that inspire me, at least. The fact that we made it, and it made it. I mean, we shot a thing at a moving thing, and it's got just enough atmosphere to be annoying, and it doesn't even help you break. And I mean, we didn't have cell phones. We had computers, they were the sizes of rooms, but we landed a thing on Mars, and it sent us photographs. That's amazing, and that continues to blow my mind. Because now, given what we can do, what can we do?
For me, two people. My grandmother. My grandmother had a really, really hard life. Her mother died when she was 7. She went to live in an orphanage. When her father remarried, it was not the best household. She left when she was 14. She, her older sister, and her younger sister, who was only 12. And she never finished elementary school. She had some other problems in life, and she persevered. And this was a woman who was a voracious reader. She loved going to museums. She never stopped learning. That is inspiring. Not only to have a really rough life, but to, when I think of my silly little problems, I always think of my grandmother and how she persevered through everything. And that's inspirational to me. And the second is my husband, because I would not have the career I have now if it wasn't for the support of my husband. And you talked about work-life balance. You are a team. And if you cannot be a team, you're going to run into some significant hurdles. So that's what inspires me.
They're all really good answers.
I'd like to add my husband retroactively.
Okay, I've got one more before we open it up to the room, so start thinking of your questions, guys. But you are all obviously remarkably accomplished women. Is there one moment or one thing from your own past that you look back on when you're having a bad day and you're like, I'm actually pretty awesome?
bad of anyone else. I mean, we